Back in the RZR Radio Sports pregame show tonight in a game that may decide the Blue Chip Conference, Northeast Dubois and the Lions. Before we talk about that game, we're going to talk to Loogootee veterinarian Scott Wallace. And if you have any following of Loogootee baseball, you have a good idea why we might be talking to this man. And Scott Wallace, of course, held numerous home run records at Loogootee, but one by one they're getting tied, maybe broken soon. Of course, you all know Monday night Bryant Ackerman tied the single-season record of 10 home runs set by Scott Wallace. And, Scott, whenever these type of things come up, I know a couple of years ago Derek Parsons tied your all-time record at 18. Maybe you didn't even know that. But as these things come up, I'm sure you pay a little bit more attention to Loogootee baseball.
Sure. We, me and the family kind of tune in a little bit longer to listen to the games, make sure that we hear the finals of the games. We certainly think of the kids that are playing, take more interest in the kids that are actually performing. It makes you a little bit proud, but then you kind of got to keep yourself in check to know that those type of things were made to be broken, and you're kind of just be happy to be part of a program that has a lot of success, such as we're doing this season.
When you think about it, 1988, Scott, 23 years ago, whenever you broke the record at that time, I don't even know if Loogootee kept records to where they were in public. Did you even know that you broke the record and who had the record previously?
Oh, not necessarily. Kind of when you're a kid, you just don't really take recognition of situations like that. But as you've graduated, as you look back, then you kind of have more of a keen eye of maybe what you've done in the past. But yeah, 23 years ago sounds like an eternity, or feels like an eternity ago, because you think back and what your life was like at that point, and you smile a lot.
Well, when you think back, would you have even imagined that these records, as I mentioned, the all-time record of 18 stood until 2009, still stands along with Derek Parsons, and the single-season record with 10 still standing today along with Bryant Ackerman. Would you have ever, even in your wildest dreams, imagined 23 years later you'd still have the record?
Well, not necessarily. I knew there was a lot of good athletes come through the system, and baseball is such a wonderful sport that you would figure a kid would come along and bust your records. 23 years is a long time, but I guess that's something, once again, I should be somewhat proud of. But it's wonderful that a kid like Bryant can perform such a feat, if you want to call it that. But no, 23 years is quite a time.
The last couple of years, as these youngsters came upon your record, maybe the 20 previous years prior to that, I don't even know if anybody really approached the record. Is it something that anybody brought to your attention in that time frame?
Not really until up to the past few years. That was that they kind of made it my business as far as, did you know so-and-so was doing so well, or did you know his batting average? Did you know how many doubles he had, RBIs in a season, that type of thing? So no, not until recently, though.
You seem to know Bryant a little bit. I know you know the family. So it's got to make a little bit of difference. If Bryant should make the difference, that it's somebody, as you mentioned, in a great family and somebody that you know.
Well, I don't know him personally, but just know of him through some adult friends that know him well, and just know he's a quality kid, and just know that he is part of a nice family.
And whenever you finished at Loogootee High School, you went on to play baseball at University of Evansville. Is that right?
Oh, it was Vincennes University.
Vincennes, sorry about that.
Yeah, it was 2 years at Vincennes, and paid for all my school over there, which is always nice to have on your belt. And but after VU, then just up to Purdue for veterinary school.
Veterinary school. So here we are downtown, actually in his office at the moment. But are you able to get out and follow? I know you said you listen a little bit, but are you able to follow the Lions at all?
Well, I'm chasing a 5- and 8-year-old around Little League Diamonds down there in Ireland, so I don't get to see the games. We actually were going to try to come up last night, but I didn't know the schedule, so I was here on emergency, so I brought both kids. There was no game Wednesday night, but then we talked to some of the boys up at the field, and they said tonight's at Dubois. Got a T-ball game tonight, so I'll probably just be listening. And then if it's Friday night, right, there's another situation, so we may try to take that in at that point.
That's here against North Posey in a game Friday night. Well, let me ask you about your career at Loogootee High School. Maybe tell us who the coach was at the time. I'm not quite sure during that time frame, and some of your great memories at the high school.
Had Craig Grove for the first 2 years, freshman, sophomore. He allowed me to start at first base kind of midway through my freshman year. Wonderful coach, wonderful man. Then Mike Wagner took over my junior and senior year. We had some success under him. I think that was kind of it was his first 2 years of coaching baseball, I believe. Him and Tim Walker did a fantastic job. Always enjoy those days, look back, and of course Mike has now become a friend. So you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed those years under Mike and Craig.
Coach Wagner said that you were probably one of the most intense players that he's ever had. Is that a pretty fair assessment of you?
Oh, well, probably probably a little bit of a show to that. I don't know. I mean, I probably took winning and losing pretty hard, and probably each at bat was a big deal for me. But generally speaking, I'm pretty laid back these days. So
honestly, would you like to see Bryant just kind of stay where he is over the next 4 games and tie the record, and your name stays in the book for a while? Well, I would lie if I said I didn't want him just to tie it. That's just a fact. But no, my goodness, it's great to be talking with you today. And certainly look forward. I mean, I know he's going to have wonderful success no matter what he does. If he hits 11 home runs, 13 home runs before the year's over with, and certainly he's got all of next year to do a lot more damage. So, best of luck to him. Scott, I appreciate you taking the time. I know you're busy. There are more important things out there to do and to talk about, but I appreciate you allowing me to come by in just a short period of time when I called you. And hopefully sometime during your T-ball game or before, you'll be able to tune in tonight, and we'll see what Bryant has a chance to do. Thank you very much, Greg. That's Scott Wallace. For the moment, he is tied for the all-time single-season home run record at Loogootee with 10. Bryant Ackerman will try to set the record tonight against Northeast Dubois. And we'll have the starting lineups, the Jeeps and the Lions, coming up after this on WRZR Radio Sports.